Welcome to another day of growth with Moses.
Recently, I really was looking through content which resonates to me, content which connects to me, and it so happened to be more clear that there are lots of pain points that entrepreneurs go through, and much of this is as a result of the fact that I'm within that space. So I started a series addressing about 100 plus pain points that entrepreneurs go through. And in this edition, I want us to continue with another pain point. The pain point I'm addressing today is the fear of sales and how to overcome the fear of sales. Now, when you step out in the world of business, in the world of entrepreneurship, it means that you have a product, you have a service that you're selling, you have a service that you're presenting to community, that you're presenting to society. And that service or that product is a reason why someone should be paying you. And the secret to thriving in business, the secret to thriving in entrepreneurship is to make a sale. Companies grow as a result of sales. Companies grow as a result of making more money. Companies are in position to grow from one person, 2, 3, 4, 5 people because they are making money, And the fact is that when you look at any business that you'll ever see in Uganda or within the world, is that there are core functions of business. There are core functions of business. There are things like administration, human resource. There are other technical terms, but there is the sales and marketing department. There is that department that brings money. Now, every entrepreneur, you will definitely start alone. You'll definitely start with 1 or 2 people, and you'll be grinding hard in moving, But along the way in your journey in business, in your journey in entrepreneurship, you will notice that so many people are struggling to break even. So many people are struggling to make money because of this one fear, the fear of sales. Before you step out to start your company, all you know is the job that you've actually been working on. Your dream could have been, the dream that you're trying to actualize right now is that you might be running an accounting firm. But for the last 10, 15 years of experience, you only worked as an accountant. You grew through all the ranks, and probably you were the head of finance, the finance officer, whatever those ranks. All you know is that in the world of employment, before you step out to make your dream of running an accounting firm come to reality, all you know is that craft. So what happens is that once you step out into this world of business and entrepreneurship, you feel that you want to operate within your comfort zone because for 15 plus years, 17 plus years of experience, you were in the comfortable zone. Others were looking for business and you were actually executing. So once we cross over into this world of entrepreneurship, we just have that fear. So in this edition, I want us to have a look at the fear of sales as another pain point that entrepreneurs go through in life. But before I get into deeper than that, I want to share about 2 or 3 things that cause the fear of sales. The first reason why people have the fear of sales is that they have the fear of rejection. Now, I started out my career in this thing called marketing and advertising, and I studied it in the insurance sector, and we were supposed to sell insurance. But I had a rough experience in my first early days. Man, you could approach close to 20 prospects, and everything you're getting is a no, is a plain no. We don't need your service. We're still thinking about it. We already have. So for some reason, other people have experienced this rejection. You go to make a sale and you're rejected. You attempt to make a sale and you're rejected, So one of the causes of the fear of sales is the fear of rejection. You're like, you know what? I'm going to pitch my idea. I'm going to pitch my product. I'm going to pitch my business to these guys, and they're not going to listen to me. Or you have an experience in the past where you stepped out to do marketing and for some reason you never sold a single thing. So you secretly know, you secretly carry a witness with you, within you, that you've tried out sales and you failed, like it is a blank check. But you see, it is okay to have the fear of sales when you're not the main salesman. But once you cross over to entrepreneurship, once you cross over to business ownership, you need to learn. You need to learn how to sell. You have no right to continuously live a life that hosts the fear of sales within you or the fear of rejection within you. So the first cause, the number one reason why many people have a fear of sales is that they fear to be rejected. They fear to, they fear to receive a no. Then the second reason why people have a lot of fear for sales is lack of confidence, lack of personal confidence, stepping out and explaining yourself, explaining your product, explaining your brand, explaining your service. There is just this lack of confidence in you, lack of confidence to speak in a one-on-one, lack of confidence to speak to your prospective clients, lack of confidence to speak to people in general, lack of confidence to speak to business owners. I'll give you an example. Years ago, when we were starting out, all we had was the craft to design good websites and take care of social media platforms of different companies, but we were simply young guys. We're simply young guys, young in look and young in structure and technically everything. And all of a sudden is that you are young, but you design websites, you take care of social media platforms of other companies. Now the decision makers that you're supposed to explain yourself are well experienced than you. They are more mature, they are more well pushed, they are more well composed. So what happens is that at that time, when the confidence levels are low and you're in such a position whereby you're supposed to pitch and sell to people that are older than you, people that have more money than you, people that have been around more than you, lack of confidence would hinder you, would actually bring out the component of the fear of sales. So second reason why people fear sales is a lack of confidence at a personal level. Then the third reason why people have a fear of sales is the negative perception that has always been built over the years. Negative perception about sales. People have it in their mind that sales is hard, sales is a complicated process. People have it that sales is a tough job. Because you see, when you pay attention to institutions like banks, the most open places, the most vacancies are always in the area of sales and marketing. Reason being, the targets are high, the targets are hot. So this perception that, sales is a hard thing, you need ABCD to become a salesman, you need this. So the main reason why people have a fear of sales is built majorly around those three things. One, the fear of rejection. Two, a lack of self-confidence within you. And then the third one is the negative perception. Now, after understanding what causes the fear of sales, I want us to move on to, I want to share a few strategies on how to overcome the fear of sales. A few strategies to helping you overcome the fear of sales. The first one is shift your mindset. Like, shift your thinking about sales. A lot has been said about sales. A lot has been said about sales being a tough job, sales being a complicated process. A lot has been said, probably even within your experiences. You've tried out to sell and things are simply not working out. The first thing you're going to do is to shift your mindset and approach and thinking towards sales. Your mindset towards sales is that sales is the only thing that you can do within your business that will actually bring in more money. Every business has a technical team that does has the technical team or the doing team. There are people within a company, there are departments within a company who will execute on the work, but the only department that is responsible for reaching out and bringing clients, and the doing team starts working on this, and then we get to points of customer satisfaction and customer delighting, like delighting customers and stuff like that, is the sales team. You know, so shift your mind. The first thing, if you want to overcome the fear of sales, you're going to start by shifting your mindset and dropping every negative perceptions you've held about sales, and know that, you know what, I mean, sales is hard, but I want to be like the other individuals. I want to be like the other guys who actually step out and sell. I want to be like those guys who go out and sell, whether they're rejected or not. I simply want to be like them. So step one to overcoming the fear of sales is to shift your mindset towards sales. Then the second one is focus on relationship building. Many times when we step out to sell, we only carry one story. The story about your product, the story about your service. The mind is all about, you know what, I want to go approach the CEO, approach this company, approach these individuals, and I want to tell them about ABCD. This is what we do. I mean, you have zero relationship with people, but you simply want them to do what? To buy from you. So second strategy to overcoming the fear of sales is that, yes, you are selling. Have it at the back of your mind that you want to sell, but at the front of your mind, pursue relationship. Let me give you an example. Imagine you are a company that is offering wellness, maybe counseling services or wellness services, and you want to extend, you want to sell workshops to probably company X. So all you're going to do is you're going to have to look at who is the core person that side in that company where you want to sell. I mean, figure out who that person is, reach out to them, talk to them, you know. If there is a forum that brings you together, and probably that person, you have a chance of speaking to that person, reach out to them and tell them, you know what, I like what you guys are doing. You guys are doing amazing work. You guys have ABCD. Like, bring it in a way that you are creating a relationship. Then upon forging a relationship, sales becomes an easy thing. So second strategy to overcoming the fear of sales, every time you have an opportunity to make a sale, approach it from an angle of relationship building. If you want to sell to him, if you want to sell to her, start the relationship first. Years ago, when we were still offering marketing trainings, there is an analogy that we always used. And that analogy, it brings it out very well. Now, this is the analogy. The analogy says that when you find a girl that you want to marry, or when you find a girl, if your dream is to have children, you know, and you find a girl that can potentially give you children, you don't start the narrative like, hey, man, I want to have sex with you. I want to have kids with you. No, you start on mutual grounds. You start by talking to her. You start by being friends. You start by forging a relationship, because you know where there is a relationship, that relationship will grow and turn into a solid relationship, turn into a marriage, turn into children, turn into a lifelong partner. So that's the approach to sales. If you want to overcome the fear of sales, you're going to have to focus on relationship building than making the sale. Because when you have a relationship, anything is possible. When you have a relationship, a sale can be possible. Then the third strategy to overcoming the fear of sales is focus on the end goal. Now, the end goal of a sale is to make a sale. The end goal of a sale is not the process of the sale, because in the process of making the sale, you're going to struggle to talk to the right person. I am in B2B, and I yearn to talk to decision makers in different companies and explain to them about what we can do for their marketing departments, what we can do for their sales teams, the workshops, the trainings that we want to hold. But many times, I know I'm extremely confident of what I can share, of what we sell, many times in the early years, my struggle was to do with how do I reach the CEO? How do I how do I reach the executive director? How do I talk the head of department? How do I reach there? Because a part of the process was called walk-ins, like walk in and for some reason, the person that you want to speak to, you can only speak to them through third parties. So sometimes this is the lady or the man that you're going to find at the reception. You're going to explain yourself, and sometimes they carry the message wrongly. So a part of my sales process was encountering the people at the forefront, the people at the forefront of the people that I want to speak to. So many times, if you're not alert, if you're not so intelligent, if you don't know what you're doing very well, it can be simply frustrating that you're connected, you have all these connections, but they're not the connections with the people that you want. So if your goal is not clear and you're in that situation, trust me, it's going to be a frustrating process. So if you want to overcome the fear of sales, whatever happens in the process of the sale, remember one thing: focus on the goal. The goal is to sell. I might be right now building a relationship with you. I might be wanting to sell something to to probably Centenary Bank, and I get to know that Centenary Bank is sponsoring an event, a charity event in Namgongo, a Catholic event or something. I might simply just come around and attend, just be within the crowd as I try to see who do I talk to, which relationship am I building, who do I connect with. I mean, that is all. These are all, like, it's just clear that I am right now building the relationship, but my end goal is to make the sale. So if you want to overcome the fear of sales, focus on the goal, focus on the main goal, focus on the end goal at all times. Do other things. If a part of the sales process is to send an email, to send, to make a presentation, to do this, do all those things, but patiently know that my goal in this particular process is to make a sale. Then the other strategy to overcoming the fear of sales is never stop learning and improving yourself. Now, the subject of entrepreneurship, the subject of sales is available. This is not the first video and the last video you're going to watch on sales. If you are an entrepreneur and you want to build your business, you want to attract more clients to your business, the secret is not in hiring a sales guy. You're going to hire a person who has an experience in sales of like 8 years, 10 years, and those guys are going to come at a fee and you may not be in position to pay them, So one of the ways you're going to overcome the fear of sales is never stop learning and improving yourself in the area of sales. Find any article that has been written on sales. Go ahead and read it. Find any workshop that has been organized on sales. Go ahead and participate in it. Find a webinar that has been built on sales. Go ahead and get in. The thing is that you're struggling to do what you're struggling to do right now simply because of the knowledge that you don't have. So when it comes to overcoming the fear of sales, you're going to have to dive in into that topic. Many times I tell people that we became what we became because of the knowledge that we acquired in school. It means that even when we grow up and we discover some of our challenges, core challenge in this case could be the fear of sales. If that is your challenge, you're going to have to figure out, collect resources that address that particular area until you become better in that area. Then the other strategy that I want to recommend when it comes to overcoming the fear of sales is find a mentor or be a mentor. Find a person who has been doing sales for a long while, Find another person who has walked the journey before, and make sure that you seek relationship with them, be friends with them. Express yourself, talk to them, tell them, you know what, this is it. This is a thing that actually worked for me in the early years of my career, We just had 2-3 individuals that were maybe about, who had like 5+ years of experience in sales, and we always operated under that. Every time you stepped out in the field and you faced rejection or you faced a no, or client never understood you, there was a guy you're going to reach out to. So if you're in position to find a mentor within the circle of sales, go ahead. It can be a physical mentor, someone you meet with. It could be simply an online mentor. It could be some guy creating content on YouTube and they're good. They're good in the sales topic. I mean, go seek mentorship from such a person, because mentors give you the shortcut. You know, if you want to learn alone and you want to, you're going to read a lot of stuff. But when you find someone who has walked the journey with you, who has walked the journey that you want to walk with, and you build a relationship with them, and you adopt them, you embrace them as a mentor, you're going to learn through shortcuts. What took them 5 years to learn, you will learn in a month. What took them 10 years to learn, you will learn in a year. Reason why? The reason being is that you've adopted them as a mentor, you've brought them closer, you've asked the right questions, and they've opened up and shared with you. Then the other reason, the other strategy to overcoming the fear of sales is invest in a sales training. Well, in the earlier point I mentioned that never stop learning and improving yourself, but this is similar to that. Invest in a sales training. Look at the different types of sales. There are direct sales, there are indirect sales, there are online sales, there are physical sales. What kind of training do you need? Get online, get within your marketing space and learn. Try to learn and get to understand, what kind of training do I need? Invest in a sales training. There are lots of trainings you'd find there. But I mean, if you want to overcome the fear of sales, you need to figure out ways of investing in a sales training. It could be a short course on Udemy, it could be a short course on Coursera, it could be a workshop, but find ways of investing in a sales training. Then, to be a little bit more practical in helping you overcome the fear of sales, is prepare a presentation. You know, over the years, we already have presentations. Sometimes we would show up simply knowing what we need, simply knowing our framework. Not every person is going to show up for a sales meeting empty-handed. Not every person is going to show up. If you know that you're in your early years, if you know that you're battling with the fear of sales, prepare a presentation. Let the presentation have your why, your problem, the problem you're solving, the details of your product, the details of your service, the benefits, and speak from a structured point of view. Now, that is a simple way, you know. Then the other strategy to help you overcome the fear of sales is master your presentation. It is one thing to prepare a presentation, but it's another thing to master your presentation. So next to this is that master your sales presentation. What are you talking about? What product, what client are you dealing with? What problems are they dealing with? And then what product or service are you pitching to them as a solution to the challenges that they are facing? You know, what is the most likely result they are going to get? So if you want to overcome the fear of sales, you're going to learn. You're going to deliberately try out some of these things. Prepare a presentation, master a presentation. And then the other thing is commit to a sales process. Commit to a sales system. You get my point. Commit to a sales process. Your sales process could be as simple as, you know what, I start my sales process by identifying the most potential clients. So I start my sales process by identifying my target niche, my target industry, my target group, my target audience. Then secondly, I make research about them. I figure out what are the gaps they are having. I make some, so your research, your sales process could be as simple as, you know, this is what you do. And then the next thing is you're just making a simple phone call. You know, you're not selling, but you're offering advice. You're seeking for clarity. You're figuring out in what ways are these guys, you know? So figure out, commit. If you want to improve, if you want to overcome the fear of sales, you have to commit to a sales system or a sales process, so that, you know, when you commit to a sales system or a process, is that you are actually, you're careful, like every process. Like when you look at the entire process of sales, is that it has stopovers. You know what to do at every stage of the process, at every stage of the system. You know, at this particular point, we do this or this. But if you're still young and you're novice in this, you're going to just jump in and you want to sell to people who may not actually be interested in what you're selling. So If you want to overcome the fear of sales, figure out a sales process that works for you and commit to that. Then the next strategy is get to know your prospects. Get to know who you're selling to. I know you could be in the website design business, but is it right for you to go to a local shop in your neighborhood and you want them to buy your service? You could be a web designer, yes, but is it right and proper for you to find a local salon within your area and then you want to do a site? Why are you designing a site for them? How is it going to help them? So figure out, get to know your clients. If you want to overcome the fear of sales, get to know who your prospect is, get to know who your target client is, get to know what are their pain points, get to know what are their needs, get to know what problems are they trying to fix, and then get to know how your product or your service is going to help them overcome that. And once you do that, trust me, your next engagement, your next sales meeting is going to be a different thing, because you'll be speaking from a place of empathy. You'll be speaking from a place of, I know you. I know what you're going through. I know that you are facing such and such a challenge, but if you embrace my solution, if you embrace my service, this is what is going to happen. You might actually even dig deeper and share a few insights of how you've helped similar businesses overcome that, you know. But you can only do that if you get to know your prospects. So the other strategy to overcoming the fear of sales is simply mastering and understanding who your prospect is, doing some research on them, and figuring out ways on wowing them or on blowing them out once you get a sales meeting. Then the other one, similar to this again, is know your product inside out. There is nothing that is as frustrating as meeting a salesman who is struggling to explain a product that they want to sell. You know, how do you expect a person to do business with you if you can't explain exactly what solution you're bringing on the table? So if you want to overcome the fear of sales, you have to know your product inside out. The reason why many people end up fearing is that they blabber, they go out to sell, but they're not prepared. They go out to sell, but they don't have the details about the things that they are selling. So they meet people who want to spend, every person who wants to spend their hard-earned money is going to ask you a lot of questions. Is going to be more intelligent, because when a salesman comes to you, they're not coming to advise you on it. I mean, they're not coming to add money to you, like straightforward. They're coming to seek for a sale, to seek for money from you. So you're going to be a little bit more tougher, a little bit more serious. So many people end up with fear because they attempted to sell, yet even what they were selling, they did not have a full comprehension of what it was. So if you want to overcome the fear of sales, get to know your prospects inside out. Then the other strategy I want to share is recognize the value of what you're selling. You know, recognize, quite similar, but it's slightly different. Recognize the value of what you're selling. Many times when you go to clients, all clients have what they call hard-earned money they don't want to spend. You know, the first thing they're going to ask you is, tell me, how much is it? All they want to shop from you like they're shopping a shoe from downtown. They're like, you know what, did you say 100,000? I'm going to give you 30,000. I'm going to give you 20,000. But when you practically look into the counter proposal, they propose the price they want to offer, and the process you go through to do it, it's not practical. So if you want to overcome the fear of sales, recognize the value of what you're selling, the value of what you're selling in terms of once I give you my service, this is how my service is actually going to transform your business. Let the conversation be about the benefits of your product, the benefits of your service. Let the conversation be about the transformation that is going to be achieved as a result of adopting your services. If you don't know the value of your product, if you don't know the value of your service, then prospects and potential clients are going to declare a price. And what's going to happen? You're going to say yes, because, I mean, business is tough, yes, but you're going to say yes to bad deals, and you're going to stay stressed in the process of delivering. So if you want to overcome the fear of sales, you have to deliberately recognize the value of what you're selling. Then the other strategy I want to share when it comes to overcoming the fear of sales is um, um, uh, network with other sales professionals. You know, if you're a salesman, there is no reason why all the time you're hanging out with accountants. If you're a salesman, there's no reason why all the time you're hanging out with receptionists. If you're a salesman, there's no reason why all the time you're hanging out with people that are not experiencing the same. So if you want to shorten if you want to quit, if you want to overcome the fear of sales earlier, you're going to find a tribe. You're going to find a tribe of people or a group of individuals who have actually been there, who know what it means when a client says no, who know what it means to be rejected, who know what it means to stammer when you're going to sell, who know what it means to struggle to express yourself in selling. You're going to find a group of people. You know, so if you want to overcome the fear of sales, you're going to deliberately network with other sales professionals with the purpose of simply hanging out with the like-minded, but also tapping into their knowledge and experiences, and definitely also you'll be willing to share your experiences. Then the other thing I want to share with you, or the other strategy when it comes to overcoming the fear of sales that I want to recommend to you is believe in yourself. There is something to do, there is so much to do. What you believe about yourself contributes a lot to what you're capable of actually doing. When you believe that you can sell, when you believe that you can explain yourself to someone and give them a reason to invest in you, give them a reason to spend their hard-earned money on your services or your products, if you believe that you are the right man for the job, chances are high. If I had a way I would give you, if I had the ABCDs to how to believe in yourself, I would actually give it to you. But believing in yourself is more invisible than visible. Believing in yourself is more internal than external. Is you knowing that, you know what, I am in this for a bigger goal. I'm in this for a big reason. I'm in this for a bigger cause, you know. Is believing that whatever you're selling is quality, whatever you're selling is capable of bringing the transformation that you need to see in the lives of your potential clients. So the other strategy to overcoming the fear of sales is you have to believe in yourself as a good salesman. Then the very last one, there are many, but the very last one best on my list is accept rejection as part of sales. You know, a lot of people's perception has been framed based on what they believe about rejection. Sometimes I tell people that no one wakes up in the morning to report to their office to do business with you. No one actually is planning to do business with you, like, you know. Everyone is planning to have a solution. Everyone is planning to do this, but no one is specifically having you in mind. So you have to, the moment the door opens to make a sale, you have to utilize that door. So if you go in there and you explain yourself very well and it is a no, in other words, you may call it a rejection. I mean, it's okay. So if you want to overcome the fear of sales, just accept rejection as part of sales. I've met so many people. I've met so many individuals in the sales space, in the marketing space, and everyone will tell you that, you know what, rejection are normal. And if you don't know, that probably still, in addition to this, I want to remind you that rejection is actually equally useful. And no in sales is useful. That is why we have something called the conversion rate. How many people do I talk to before I make a sale? You may find that your conversion rate is 1 out of 10. That for every 10 people you're going to sell to, 9 are going to say no. But 1 is actually going to say yes. If you want to sell to 10 people, then your math is right. You go into this sales process knowing that you are going to explain yourself to 100 people and 90 of these are going to say no, but 10 people are going to make a sale. Now, depending on the worth of what you're selling, you know, If you're selling items like probably $10,000 or $15,000 and you only sold to 10 people, that's $100,000 or $150,000. You get. So the story is you spoke to 100 people but made 10 sales. So we shouldn't be looking at the 10 and say, you know what, I mean, you spoke to 100 and then you only made 10. Look at how much did I make out of selling to 10. So if you're out there, you're in the entrepreneurship space, you're in the business ownership stage, one of the things I want to remind you is that the progress of your business is dependent on your ability to close a sale, your ability to step out and make the sale. If you keep struggling in that area, you're going to keep at the same area. So if this is the truth, if this comes out to you that this is the truth, that you're the business owner, whichever stage you're at, there is no person who is going to sell your business better than you, especially in the early stages. But years later, when you have a full department, when you have a full team that does this, it's going to be easy because these kids are going to sell after marketing. You know, marketing is simply sharing value. Marketing does not mean sales. Marketing is when you put out communication, people know about you. But the thing about entrepreneurs that are doing sales, sometimes you need to sell even without marketing. You're selling a thing that people don't know, but I mean, they need to buy. You get. So my final word as I wrap off, as I come to the end, is the fear of sales is another pain point that business owners will go through, is another pain point that CEO will face. But how soon you overcome that fear contributes to a lot to how far you're going to go. So if you are liking these episodes, if you're liking this series on pain points, I want to encourage you that we're still dropping and sharing lots of videos similar to this. You can hit the channel, you can follow, you can, wherever you are, you can simply check out a little more. But the reason why I do this is that I'm trying to really connect to the actual things. You know, I'm very good at things like email marketing and all that stuff, but if I do not support you and help you build your sales muscle as an individual, then even when I teach you how to do cold calling, your cold calling initiatives are going to open doors for you, and you're going to appear before your prospects, and you're going to have zero confidence, and you're going to, I mean, I would have given you a strategy as a cold calling strategy, a cold emailing strategy, and here comes prospects calling for a meeting, but you're getting in that place, you're not prepared. You're getting in that place, you have confidence issues. You're getting in that place, you have zero presentation. You're getting in that place, you're not so sure of your product, its value. You don't know exactly what you're doing. So I felt like it is better to get to the root of the issue before we can get to the branches, before we can get to the top of the issue. So the issue in this case, overcome the fear of sales. Tactics to building businesses, tactics to attracting more clients, they are technically available, but if your confidence levels are low, it's going to be really hard. So if you liked this video, if you feel like this makes sense for your friend or someone, I'll appreciate if you actually go ahead and share this. Otherwise, I remain Moses, and I look forward to sharing with you more in the next episode.
Thank you for joining us on the Growth with Moses podcast. If you'd like to access more episodes, please subscribe to this channel. And if you enjoyed this podcast, help us share and spread word about it. Till next time, we meet again on the Growth with Moses podcast.